For a climber, the ultimate adventure is to climb something that's never been climbed before. So some years back, my best buddy, who was a cowboy from Texas, named Cowboy Steve McAndrews. My nickname growing up, by the way, was Puffy, the rotund marshmallow boy from New Jersey, because that's who I was. But we became buddies, Cowboy Steve and Puffy the marshmallow boy, at college age. And we went down to South America to climb a mountain that had never before been climbed. You can probably see in this image, it's a pretty intense mountain. I mean, we're talking about 18,000 feet of ice, starting at about 12, at the last 8,000 feet are ice. And of course, to climb these mountains, as in any form of profession, you have to have the right technology. For a climber, the technology is simple. It's ice axes that you pound in the ice. And then you have these things on your feet called crampons that you kick in. And you can climb up these sheer ice walls. I mean, incredible experience. And there's this rope around your waist, just in case things screw up. Now, McAndrews is a better climber than I am, so he climbs first, because that's the more dangerous thing to do. And I'm on the ice wall, and at about 17,000 feet, I feel my ice axes coming loose from the ice. They start to slide, kind of like knives through butter, and then they're loose, and I'm falling backward through space. Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, what passes before your eyes in this moment? Is it your life? And the answer is no, it's your lunch. That's the truth. And the same guy, he must have taken a climbing class, because he said, now, when you fell, you alerted your partner and yelled, I'm falling. I said, no, I didn't. I yelled, ah! Which conveys the same information with a heightened sense of urgency, But here's what I want to do is I want to share the truth. That's what we got to talk about. So as you fall, the rope goes snug at your waist, and you bounce, and you're now smacking against this ice wall, and you're going, this is good, because I'm still feeling something. It's when you feel nothing, that's bad. And then you hear McAndrews yell down, are y'all right down there, J-Uff? And you wonder, how can a name of 4 letters possibly have 2 syllables? And you yell back, I'm fine. But remember now, you're hanging about 16,000 feet over open space by a 9mm rope around your lower parts, right? So what you yell back is, I'm fine. And then you get back on the ice, and this is what happened. I get on the ice, I climb to where McAndrews is, and I look in the blue eyes of my best friend, and the smile. I have come that close to death. He's right there. And it wasn't a week before that, we were climbing in Bolivia, and we had finished the ice. We're going to do the rock. We stop for lunch. We pull out our salami sandwiches. And I remember the feeling because my toes were over the edge when the rope at my back went tight. And I look behind me, and it's McAndrews. One hand on a rope, one hand on a salami sandwich, And again, I look in the eyes and the smile of my best friend. I'm that close to death, and the dude's right there. And it was maybe a week before that. We were kayaking on a river called the Biobío in southern Chile when I'm under a washing machine wave. I'm out of my kayak. I'm not coming up. And a hand reaches down and grabs me by the back. And again, that close to death. I look in the eyes of my best friend. He's right there. So on this day, on this mountain, when I look in those eyes one more time, I realize something. This guy's bad luck. Yeah. You probably have friends like that, don't you? Anyway, the point of this, there really is a point. We make the top of the mountain. McAndrews is a better climber than I am, but he makes a mistake. He takes off his snow goggles. At 18,000 feet, it does not matter how much behind the cloud the sun is, the UV rays are still so strong, they're starting to smoke your eyes, whether you like it or not, or know it or not. And so on the way back down, McAndrews cannot see. About halfway down the mountain, we find a Motel 6, a big old gaping blue mouth of ice that we hunker down in to see if we freeze dry before dawn. In the morning, we clamber out of the ice. We're now making our way down the last bit of rock and scree and snow, and we hit the green, grassy ground. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more like paradise than flat green grass with a couple of flowers, And we're walking like this, because I have McAndrews around the waist because you can't see. And the day after your fall, my fall, is when you stiffen. So I can't walk. So he's got me, I've got him, and we're coming down the mountain kind of like this. And these 2 little Peruvian kids dared to approach. And I say dared because they had never seen a 2-headed extraterrestrial before. And they're leading their little llama, and they're looking at us with these big, like Elvis Presley and Tijuana kind of eyes, And the little kid stops and looks at me and he says, Amigos, señores, ¿de dónde vienen ustedes? Where are you dudes coming from? And we're macho, right? So we say, arriba la montaña. And this little kid said the words that altered my perspective on adventure forever. He looked at me and he said, ¿Por qué? LA people, it means, why, right? And then he turned to his friend and said, ellos no saben. They don't know. No hay nada arriba. There's nothing up there. Boy, do you feel like an idiot, you know? But it's true, and that's the point of my little talk today. I mean, how often do we find, well, I'll put it this way, I get to hang out now with people that are the CEOs of some of the major corporations, those who are not currently in prison, and I ask them, about their lives, and as often as not, these are people who have maintained a certain kind of lifestyle that's enabled them to make the top of their respective mountain, but they've sold everything of importance down the river to get there. Their lives, basically. Their health, and it's too late to get it back. Often their values, certainly time with their family. These are not happy people, and you know what? They do not usually last long in those positions. The people I meet who are truly successful have done the opposite. They have realized that if you do not jettison your values, but insist on living a life that fills you every single day with the things you care about, I think Saad is one of those kind of leaders. What you discover is that life is not a destination, as we used to say, or even a journey, as we used to say, but life then becomes a dance. And when you dance, you don't dance to get to any place on the floor, right? You dance because the joy of life, the joy of the job you get to do fills you. You take moments to celebrate. You take moments to breathe deep. You take moments to enjoy the company. You take moments to embrace the mission you are on, and you find that the mountains and the mountaintops fall successively and easily beneath your feet. That's the new model for dealing with relentless change, because that's what we all face.